We are over a year in to the disaster that is as ever, and Meghan Markle is still attempting to sell it with the same failed talking points, but she has decided to make a change and is officially giving up trying to help sell it herself, apparently. And we also have a very defensive response and has reached out to another influencer to repeat the same bland, banal, pointless, unhelpful talking points, trying to portray this strange brand that seems to have no purpose as being about hosting. This brand is not doing well. And Meghan Markle still cannot fathom why, because instead of changing up her messaging, changing up a lot of aspects of the branding to try and help sell, she just outsources it to somebody else because she's too lazy to run a business.
Meghan Markle appears to be taking a step back from serving as the main face of her own brand, and that's exactly what grabbed people's attention this week. A new video shared on the As Ever Instagram account didn't feature the Duchess of Sussex at all. Instead, viewers watched influencer Olivia McDowell sitting at a carefully styled table, opening a croissant, spreading raspberry preserve, lighting a candle, and repeating the same hosting advice Meghan has shared for more than a year. Do not overcomplicate the menu. Engage all the senses with a nice candle.
So let's listen to this.
Summer is my favorite season for spontaneous hosting, and even on short notice, there are a few tips I always like to keep in mind.
So, number one, so we're going to get tips, and this is Olivia McDowell, and 3 summer hosting tips. And you notice, I feel like it's very soft and like kind of Meghan-ish in the attempt to sell it, but what I noticed here as well, when she gives the advice, it's like, none of this is groundbreaking. This is stuff that's already been covered in As Ever.
Give your guests a parting gift. Those are the featured tips. They're also nearly identical to ideas Meghan has promoted through interviews, social media posts, Bloomberg appearances, and much of the content released since As Ever first launched. Some critics argue that this formula hasn't created the momentum many expected. They believe the messaging hasn't built lasting excitement around the brand, while reports have suggested website interest has cooled over time. Rather than introducing something fresh, the company now appears to be using another creator to present nearly the same message. That decision has sparked plenty of online discussion. When a brand hands its signature style to another influencer while keeping the presentation almost unchanged, people naturally begin asking questions. Is this a clever way to expand the audience, or an attempt to refresh an approach that wasn't connecting as hoped?
Like this raspberry spread, it's one of my favorites, and I cannot get enough of it.
Also, this is a party for no one. And she didn't even post it on her full page, which I thought was really strange.
2, I love engaging all of the senses, including smell. So I always light a nice candle, and this one smells of fresh florals and truly turns my home into a garden. I always
light a candle, guys. Make something from scratch and then buy the rest and then light a candle.
After months of Meghan personally promoting As Ever, the change stands out. Olivia McDowell isn't presenting a dramatically different concept. Instead, she's recreating the familiar look, tone, and lifestyle image that followers have already seen many times before. The video itself reflects several points that critics frequently raise about the brand. Olivia sits at an elegant table surrounded by flowers, linen napkins, and carefully arranged products. Every detail appears polished, refined, and thoughtfully prepared.
And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Because yes, of course, people in the spotlight, podcasters, influencers, they do, of course, have sponsorships with brands and help collaborate with them. But for Meghan Markle, who's tried the same failed talking points for over a year now, for her to hire somebody basically to repeat the same boring talking points, which have not worked and haven't converted, I just can't help but sit there and go, really?
She tears apart a croissant, spreads preserve with careful attention, lights a candle, and suggests sending guests home with hibiscus tea as a parting gift. Each movement feels measured and camera-ready, giving some viewers the impression that the presentation is designed more for visuals than for a casual gathering with friends or family.
Really, come on, don't you have a better idea at this? You have to have a better idea at this point. But Meghan Markle doesn't. And the crazy thing is, Meghan Markle hasn't done really anything close to this. I mean, she's tried a handful of times, but Not well. And the thing is, you can outsource additional people to talk about your brand when you yourself are good about talking about and marketing your brand.
The overall mood remains familiar as well. It's calm, aspirational, and focused on creating an ideal version of entertaining that some viewers say feels difficult to relate to. Critics have argued that As Ever often showcases a lifestyle that looks attractive, but doesn't always reflect everyday experiences. That's one detail many people keep returning to. The table is arranged, the food is ready, the candles are lit, everything looks flawless, yet no guests ever appear. For some observers, that image represents the biggest challenge facing the brand, building a scene people admire while convincing them they genuinely want to take part in it. Critics have also suggested that As Ever sometimes sells the appearance of hosting more than the experience itself.
You look at the analytics, and the analytics just really don't lie here. And Meghan Markle is not being transparent on the sales, although she's not required to be. I'm not saying that she has to, but it's just really, really obvious things aren't selling and things aren't moving, especially when she markets them for a particular time period and she still has leftover inventory.
The videos highlight beautiful tables, elegant details, and carefully staged moments, but some viewers question how much of that fits naturally into daily life. For many consumers, attractive presentation alone isn't enough. A candle, a jar of preserve, or a collection of hosting tips can certainly appeal to shoppers, but successful brands often create a deeper connection with customers. People tend to buy products that solve problems, meet practical needs, build trust, or spark real enthusiasm. Looking perfect in a photograph is only one piece of the puzzle, and that's where the story takes another interesting turn. Newsweek recently published an analysis examining website traffic trends connected to As Ever, referencing data from analytics services that track online engagement. According to those reports, activity throughout 2026 appears to have slowed rather than continued growing.
When you market something for a particular time period, let's say Mother's Day, and the products are still available, like here and here, those were for Mother's Day, guys. Those were Mother's Day items, and they're still for sale. This was a limited edition. How are you this bad at this? You have so much money. How are you this crappy at business management?
The timing has added even more fuel to the conversation because it overlaps with some of the brand's biggest promotional campaigns. Influencer collaborations, celebrity gifting efforts, magazine features, social media marketing, and public announcements all arrived during the same period. Even so, reports suggest the overall momentum may not have reached the level many expected. For business analysts, that's often one of the biggest indicators to watch. When promotional efforts increase while customer engagement trends downward, it's natural for people to question whether the strategy is connecting with its intended audience. More advertising doesn't automatically translate into stronger results.
When your limited edition doesn't sell out in a limited period of time, that's generally a bad sign. If you market something for Christmas, like Meghan Markle did, for let's find it here, because I know it's here, the Hot Hottie and Spice Cider, those are Christmas fall items that failed to sell out.
One example that attracted attention involved the brand's Mother's Day campaign. Seasonal promotions are typically built around urgency, encouraging shoppers to buy products for a special occasion before a limited window closes. However, some critics noted that certain Mother's Day-themed items reportedly remained available after the holiday ended. While leftover inventory is common in retail, several commentators interpreted it as a possible sign that demand may not have matched expectations. Those conversations have continued alongside the company's recent rebranding effort. Businesses update their branding for many reasons. Sometimes they want a fresh identity that reflects growth or expansion.
Meghan Markle is not good at marketing and talking about As Ever. She's not good at it in the slightest. And it's come to the point where it's basically just totally failing, flailing, and flatlining. I mean, this thing is a mess.
Other times, they believe a new direction could strengthen their relationship with customers and better position the business for the future. What has generated curiosity here is the speed of the change. As Ever introduced its rebrand after only about a year in the market, supporters may see that as flexibility and willingness to adapt. Critics, meanwhile, argue that such a rapid shift could suggest the original strategy wasn't producing the hoped-for results. Regardless of perspective, The combination of influencer partnerships, questions about customer engagement, and an early rebrand has kept As Ever in the public conversation. For a lifestyle brand built around inspiration and presentation, the next challenge may be showing that the appeal extends beyond carefully crafted images.
Doesn't look like it's enough at all to actually sell Meghan Markle's products. I did the tracking. I did a whole As Ever breakdown, and from what best I could estimate, it would take her 7 years to sell out of her inventory.
Some critics argue that this doesn't resemble the path of a company confidently entering a new phase. Instead, they see a business trying to rebuild momentum. Although the rebrand was presented publicly as an evolution, certain commentators believe the timing invites a different interpretation. What caught even more attention was what followed. Soon after the rebrand, As Ever appeared to shift part of its messaging toward outside influencers. To critics, that sequence has sparked speculation that internal changes may not have produced the boost the company was hoping to achieve. Another development that generated discussion involved affiliate marketing. ShopMy is a platform that allows influencers to earn commissions by recommending products through personalized links. It's a common strategy used by many lifestyle brands because it encourages creators to share products they genuinely like, while also benefiting financially when those recommendations lead to successful sales.
Despite Meghan Markle's very defensive claims in Newsweek, nobody is, let's say, betting on her to fail or like desperately wants her to fail. That's not really it. I criticize the brand because it's a bad brand. I am shocked and continue to be absolutely flummoxed.
According to reports highlighted by Brittany from Royal News Network, an As Ever affiliate link connected to ShopMy was tested and reportedly did not function as expected. If those reports are accurate, some critics argue this could make it harder for independent creators to participate in commission-based promotions for the brand. That matters because affiliate programs often help build a wider network of creators who talk about products in a more natural way. If the system isn't working smoothly, observers suggest much of the brand's visibility may depend more heavily on paid partnerships or gifted collaborations instead of broader community participation. Another number also caught attention online. Olivia McDowell's promotional video reportedly received 194 reposts. In today's social media environment, where successful influencer campaigns can generate much larger engagement, some commentators view that figure as lower than expected.
And it only has 194 reposts, which is a little bit better than she normally gets. Give a gift to the people who are coming by. Give a gift to your guests. Groundbreaking. I feel like we've heard this all before. We've heard this 12 times from Meghan. Meghan, you need to actually allow the people you're hiring to figure out how to sell your brand if you can.
Of course, reposts and engagement statistics don't tell the entire story. Still, businesses watch those numbers closely because they can provide clues about whether a campaign connected with audiences or struggled to gain traction. For critics, the larger concern is that the brand itself hasn't changed enough over time. The same products remain at the center of attention. The same visual style continues to dominate. The same hosting advice keeps appearing. According to those observers, customers haven't been given a strong reason to view As Ever differently than they did several months ago. Some have also argued that opportunities for public feedback seem limited. Comments on certain platforms have reportedly been restricted, and if affiliate tools are not operating as intended, that could reduce another avenue for measuring customer interest and engagement. Whether supporters see consistency or critics see a lack of evolution, one thing remains clear. As Ever continues to attract close attention. With every new campaign, expectations grow for the brand to show that curiosity can turn into long-term customer loyalty. According to critics, the one signal no business can afford to overlook is sales performance. When products don't create the expected demand, many successful companies respond by introducing new ideas, refining their messaging, adjusting prices, or shifting strategy. The debate surrounding As Ever centers on the perception that its response has followed a different path.
It's a thoughtfully set table or simply making time to gather. I believe the little details are what make guests feel welcome, and these treasures from As Ever truly elevate every moment.
Instead of completely reinventing the formula, some observers argue the company has simply put a different face in front of the same presentation. The hosting advice remains familiar. The overall look stays largely unchanged. Many of the featured products are still the same. To those critics, that feels more like repetition than innovation. Those same commentators also point to several reasons they believe growth may have been limited. They argue that the product lineup hasn't generated enough excitement, that premium pricing hasn't convinced every shopper of its value, and that the overall brand identity still feels somewhat undefined. Others wonder whether a founder-led business can fully separate itself from divided public opinion surrounding its creator. There's also the question of scale. Building an entire lifestyle brand around hosting may appeal strongly to a specific audience, but some analysts question whether that niche is broad enough to support lasting commercial success. They argue the content often appears polished and aspirational, while leaving some consumers looking for a stronger sense of authenticity and everyday connection. Then came the response to reports about website traffic, and according to some critics, the reaction itself became part of the story.
You can hire somebody else to help kind of be another messenger for your brand. But at first, you have to be solid in how you're messaging and being consistent in the messaging and the videos and stuff. The last video we saw of Meghan Markle, guys, I just realized as I was looking through, is her, where is it? Is it here?
Everyone in my family has a
It's
different.
horrible audio talking about her kids and her husband and how they like.
Companies experiencing strong growth often answer skepticism with performance data, expansion plans, or other measurable signs of success. When attention shifts toward challenging criticism instead of highlighting results, it can naturally prompt even more questions. Supporters of Meghan Markle may see much of the coverage as unfair or overly negative. Critics, however, believe the combination of events is difficult to overlook. Reported declines in website engagement, discussions surrounding Mother's Day inventory, affiliate link concerns, the early rebrand, influencer partnerships, and polling figures often mentioned by royal commentators have all become part of the broader conversation around as ever. For those critics, the concern isn't centered on one isolated issue. It's the accumulation of multiple developments happening at once. A single disappointing campaign can happen to any company. One unfavorable headline can be dismissed. But when several challenges appear around the same time, people naturally begin wondering whether larger issues may exist behind the scenes. As ever was introduced as a major part of Meghan Markle's professional path after royal life, the brand represented an opportunity to build a distinct identity in the lifestyle market and establish success beyond public appearances and royal connections. Whether that goal has been achieved remains open to interpretation. Supporters argue that building a successful business requires patience and persistence. Critics maintain that the brand has not yet consistently demonstrated a strong connection with consumers in a lasting way. One point that many observers seem to agree on is that the next stage will be important. Simply repeating the same ideas through different personalities may not be enough to reshape public discussion about As Ever's future. Some critics argue that changing the person delivering the message won't address what they see as the deeper challenge.
Why isn't Meghan Markle doing this? This is her brand. She needs to be doing this. If she's getting defensive at Newsweek about the success or failure of her brand, why can't she sell it? Meghan hasn't taken that criticism and adjusted. She did a little bit of a rebrand, which we covered last month, but that was more because she was finally more in control and she's like, well, it's not working, so let's do this. When you rebrand, when you restyle, that's usually something that happens maybe after a couple of years to kind of update. She's doing it after a year, which signals to me that things aren't doing well and she's trying to figure out how to sell it.
In their view, the central question isn't who presents the products, but whether the products themselves give shoppers a compelling reason to make a purchase. After about a year on the market, those critics claim the brand still revolves around the same carefully curated image introduced at launch. The hosting theme remains familiar. The visual style stays largely unchanged. The product categories continue to follow the same direction. According to them, consumers have not been given enough reasons to view the brand from a fresh perspective. One detail from Olivia McDowell's promotional video generated particular attention online. The opening scene focused first on a floral arrangement rather than Olivia herself. Some observers interpreted that creative decision as a sign that the atmosphere and visual presentation are intended to be the true centerpiece of the brand experience. From that perspective, the individual presenting the products becomes interchangeable, while the setting takes center stage. Fresh flowers, soft lighting, elegant table displays, and the promise of effortless entertaining. Critics argue that if different influencers can deliver nearly identical presentations in the same environment, it raises questions about what truly makes the brand stand apart. That's where conversations about long-term sustainability begin. In a crowded lifestyle market, companies often rely on something distinctive to separate themselves from competitors. Whether it's innovative products, a memorable founder, outstanding value, or a strong emotional connection with customers, those qualities can help build lasting momentum. Without them, maintaining growth may become increasingly challenging. Some commentators have questioned whether As Ever has done enough to stand apart from competitors. They argue that similar styles and visuals can be found across countless lifestyle accounts online, often featuring comparable products at many different price points. Others believe Meghan Markle's public profile remains the brand's strongest advantage, while critics suggest that divided public opinion around the Duchess creates added challenges for a founder-led business. Supporters, however, may view the brand's consistency as a deliberate strategy rather than a weakness. Building a recognizable identity often takes repetition and patience. Critics counter that consistency without meaningful change can eventually lead to stagnation, especially if customer excitement begins to fade over time. The debate has only grown stronger because of everything happening around the brand in recent months.
Now, guys, I visit As Ever probably about every other day to see what's going on. So I am somebody who is pretty consistently on that website and never ever purchasing it. And that's the thing. There's a lot of journalists, commentators who are on her site. I would tell you right now, more aggressively than people actually purchasing her product. When you can hire people who can make you look great and somehow you hire the worst team ever. That's what I'm obsessed with. How can you make the worst business decisions, some of the worst ones I have ever seen?
The rebrand, influencer collaborations, affiliate questions, and reports discussing audience engagement have all contributed to increased public attention. For people following the story closely, one question keeps coming back. Can As Ever successfully grow beyond its original concept? According to critics, replacing the person presenting the products won't make much difference if consumers remain unconvinced by what's actually being offered. Every celebrity-backed brand goes through different stages, and some critics believe As Ever has already moved beyond the excitement of its initial launch. The debut generated headlines, curiosity, and plenty of clicks. People wanted to see what Meghan Markle was creating and whether the Duchess of Sussex could establish a successful lifestyle business on her own. But curiosity only brings customers in once. Long-term loyalty is what keeps them returning, and that depends on whether buyers feel the products are worth purchasing again. Critics often point to reviews, unboxing videos, and customer conversations as signs that repeat enthusiasm may not be matching the buzz surrounding the original launch. According to those observers, As Ever may have entered what they describe as the push phase. This is the point where brands increase marketing efforts in order to maintain momentum after organic interest starts slowing down. Influencer partnerships, celebrity gifting campaigns, media appearances, and promotional collaborations all become larger parts of the strategy.
Now, number one thing I want to point out, guys, is that there's another woman, an influencer, who's there to help sell Meghan's brand. And how does she show the video? Why, of flowers that I don't think are in this woman's video at all. And so it's like almost like Meghan is like having her house help sell this brand, but also doesn't want people to see her face.
Critics argue that's exactly what has unfolded. They point to expanded media coverage, celebrity associations, and collaborations like the Olivia McDowell partnership as examples of a stronger push for visibility. But marketing alone has limits. If customers enjoy the products, they'll naturally recommend them. If they don't, sustaining that cycle becomes much more difficult over time. That's also why conversations about website traffic have attracted so much attention. Critics argue that if engagement falls during a period of increased promotion, it could suggest that first-time visitors aren't becoming repeat customers. In other words, people may be curious enough to take one look, but not motivated enough to keep coming back. Business commentators often describe the next possible phase as a pivot. That's when companies make meaningful changes based on customer feedback or market conditions. Some observers believe As Ever's recent rebrand may have been the first visible step in that direction. However, critics argue that a genuine pivot requires more than cosmetic adjustments. They point out that many of the brand's defining elements remain largely the same. Familiar hosting advice, the same visual identity, polished table settings, and a similar aspirational tone. From their perspective, changing the presenter without changing the overall message feels more like repackaging than reinvention. Others see things differently and believe consistency is actually one of the brand's strengths. After all, many successful lifestyle companies build recognition by repeating a clear identity over time. The real debate is whether consumers still find that formula engaging enough to keep paying attention.
As Ever is just objectively bad. It's a bad business. It's a bad premise. It's badly communicated and it's badly marketed. The imagery is bad. The products themselves, which I've tried a lot of them, they are bad. I was not anticipating this in the slightest. And I was looking at this going, is this Meghan's assistant when the video first started playing? This is another influencer selling Meghan Markle's brand with literally the exact same talking points.
Then comes the issue of long-term sustainability. Some business analysts describe a contraction stage when companies adjust their goals to better match actual demand. Critics argue that possible warning signs can include rapid rebranding, heavier reliance on influencer partnerships, operational concerns such as affiliate issues, leftover seasonal inventory, and increasingly defensive reactions to unfavorable coverage. Whether those observations prove accurate remains part of the ongoing discussion, but they continue to shape public debate around the brand. To be clear, As Ever has not publicly stated that it has entered that kind of phase. Even so, critics say these developments raise important questions about what comes next. Will the brand settle into a smaller but sustainable niche, or will it struggle to reach the level of growth that was originally expected? One thing seems certain, the public attention isn't fading anytime soon. With every new campaign, observers continue looking for signs that As Ever is making changes that genuinely address concerns about its long-term direction. Another detail that caught critics' attention involved what happened after Olivia McDowell's collaboration with As Ever went live. On her personal social media pages, she later shared content showing what appeared to be a real gathering with guests, food, and products from several different brands. According to those observers, As Ever products did not seem to appear in that separate content. Critics argue this illustrates the difference between a sponsored partnership and a personal recommendation. Paid collaborations are a normal part of an influencer's business, but when creators truly enjoy a product, followers often notice it, appearing naturally in everyday posts, casual updates, and unsolicited mentions. Modern audiences are also more familiar with influencer marketing than ever before. Many people can recognize the difference between content created as part of a promotion and content featuring products someone actually chooses to use regularly. Critics believe,
and Meghan Markle, if she wants to make this work, if she doesn't want to be defensive to Newsweek about the success or failure of As Ever, make As Ever a success. And the way you do that is by actually working hard, figuring out what works, acknowledging what is not working, which is the talking points. They aren't working. And doing something that does. I'm sorry, but As Ever, all I see is failure.
that distinction can have a major impact on whether viewers decide to make a purchase themselves. Some commentators have also pointed to the engagement surrounding the collaboration. They argue that relatively modest repost numbers could suggest audiences viewed the content more as advertising than as an authentic recommendation they wanted to share with others. Looking beyond a single campaign, critics believe the larger challenge is maintaining momentum over time. Successful brands often rely on a cycle of visibility, purchases, repeat customers, and word-of-mouth recommendations. If repeat sales don't materialize, companies may become increasingly dependent on paid promotion simply to remain visible. Supporters of Meghan Markle would likely argue that creating a successful lifestyle brand requires patience. Many businesses experience setbacks, adjustments, and experimentation before achieving long-term success. From that perspective, As Ever may simply be working through the normal challenges of launching a new venture. Critics, however, continue to see a different picture. They point to discussions about website traffic, influencer partnerships, affiliate concerns, leftover seasonal inventory, and the recent rebrand as indicators that the brand could be facing meaningful obstacles. In the end, the debate centers on one key question: can As Ever transform curiosity into lasting customer loyalty? According to critics, long-term success requires more than attention-grabbing campaigns alone. It depends on offering products that people genuinely enjoy, enthusiastically recommend, and choose to purchase again and again.